Hey guys, I am not in my usual space with all of my usual flowers. I'm in a hotel room because that's my life right now. I'm actually stuck in Australia because my visa's processing to go back to America, so I can go back to my house. With everything going on with the coronavirus, the embassy is operating at like quarter capacity, and moral of the story, I don't have my visa yet. So I am living in and out of hotels. But I promised you I would bring you this video. We've already gone over figuring it all out, which is going and getting the test done to really find the root cause of what is going on with our health. Second thing we looked at was gut health. I recommended a few supplements that I have tried that I absolutely love. The third thing, which is this video, what I wanted to talk about in relation to acne, hormones. You know, the same things that make us feel a little bit crazy a lot of the time. When I first did my tests, I realized that I had extremely low estrogen, quite a lot of testosterone. It was definitely an issue for me because estrogen plays so many essential roles in our body. Things like, you know, making sure our mucous membranes are really thick and healthy. I was getting a lot of urinary and bladder problems. Now, saying that, I also was on contraception. How many of you are on contraception? Contraception is a whole nother video, but what I want to talk to you right now is hormones. So if you've had your tests back and you see you've either got really high estrogen, really low estrogen, you know, you've got issues with progesterone, whatever it is, that could be playing a huge role in your skin. Instead of going out and buying all these topical things that are never going to work if it's hormonal. With hormones, a really common one that people don't realize is how hormones and stress are directly connected. Cortisol, our stress hormone that makes us feel really crazy a lot of the time. Like me, one of my favorite doctors for so much information on hormones is Dr. Jolene Brighton. She's amazing. I found her on Instagram and I absolutely love her. Cortisol, which is a steroid hormone in the body, produced basically when we're in fight or flight. I mean, it's higher in the morning, lower in the afternoons. We have it in our bodies anyway, but it's produced in large amounts in fight or flight. So when we're meant to be running away from someone chasing us, when we have to react to something really bad happening, cortisol is that fight or flight, is our body operating at its highest capacity all the time, kind of up here. Now, unfortunately, for a lot of our lives, a lot of us spend a lot of time operating up here. There is no resting, no time for our bodies to just get a little bit of balance. What that does is it exhausts our adrenal glands. The way that we deal with stress, the way that we deal with life, we just get exhausted. Basically, we get adrenal fatigue. But more so, what happens when we exhaust our adrenals is they start stealing our sex hormones to keep us going, to keep us running at this completely crazy rate that we are not meant to be operating at, but we have got these crazy lifestyles now. So what happened to me was I was operating up here all the time, traveling the world, doing all these things, and exhausting, not looking after myself or my mental health. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not here to diagnose or talk about high estrogen, low testosterone, progesterone, whatever. I'm not here to talk about those things. I'm here to just share my story. So one of my biggest tips that you guys are probably going to be so surprised about, one thing I was doing, I was over-exercising. I was pushing my body when it didn't want to be pushed. Now, lower your exercise. Do things like walking, yoga, meditation. You probably have seen in the last 12 months how much my exercise routine has changed. I used to be like boxing and HIIT and all of these crazy workouts, which I love, and they definitely have a place in health and wellness for sure. But if you've got problems with your hormones, I can almost guarantee over-exercising and over-stimulating, because that is still going to use cortisol to get you that like last 10 seconds of that like 5-minute HIIT class, it's not going to make you any better. And it made me worse. It made my skin worse. It made everything worse because your body needs to calm. So treatment for hormones, I'm not a doctor, Dr. Jolene Brighton is, and I really love her. I have got a lot of information from her. And if you guys are wondering how I learn these things, I literally just read, because I wanted to take my health into my own hands. I just read, and I read books and information from the most credible sources I can find, and also just from personal experience and working with different doctors. But One amazing help for women that are trying to balance their hormones like me is traditional Chinese medicine. I've been doing Chinese medicine, as you know, for well over a year, and we have been working on my hormones, and it has helped 100 times over. So preparing my body to get my contraception taken out, we did a whole preparation process, and it's definitely made it so much easier for me. And then also it's helped me balance out my hormones again. I also do acupuncture. Acupuncture is incredible for balancing hormones. That's a big part of why Chinese medicine is famous for fertility. But that's something that really, really helps if you are trying to balance your hormones. The other thing is food. Now I'm going to do whole other videos on food, but some great things to do with your hormones is for you to start your day, your cortisol is always at its highest when you first wake up. So you want to wake up and you really want to calm the body. So you want to have 10 minutes, just you time, a little bit of meditation, a little bit of stretching. You want a whole liter of water to flush through your body, flush through everything that's become stagnant while you've been asleep. I always start my day with like a rose hip or a licorice tea. They are two teas that are really beautiful for hormones. Things like buckwheat and millets for your grains are really, really good for hormones. Berries, they're just so rich in antioxidants, which are also going to help your immune system, because everything is related. You know, beautiful green, rich leafy vegetables, cauliflowers and broccoli, specifically those kind of vegetables are really high in a certain compound. They call it DIM. I think it's called dindolymethane, but I can't pronounce it, so don't quote me on it. Eating these rich whole foods is going to help your hormones so much. And the three things that you really, really, really want to avoid are hormones in your foods. So really trying to eat organic. I know it can be more expensive, but I found a farmer's market that is no more expensive than Woolworths. Preservatives and sweeteners in your foods. So you just want to eat as natural as possible, because what happens when you eat things that your body doesn't recognize, that are artificial, your body takes them in and then goes, I don't know what it is, and releases a stress response. And we are trying to calm the body. So you want to eat as natural and organic as possible. Another thing is to nurture the gut. You want to rebuild that serotonin. So you want to be eating foods that are really easy to digest. So a lot of beautiful cooked foods. Things like that are going to help your hormones so much. And one thing I wanted to add as well, if you did get those tests done and you got your hormones back, if you are on a contraception, it's almost impossible to see what your hormones are doing, because your hormones aren't functioning the way that they would naturally. So I was judging my hormones by the last year, kind of just guessing and seeing what was going on, but having the Marina in, I could never actually get like a proper gauge of what was happening. So I chose to get it taken out for a lot of reasons, but also just because if you really want to get to the bottom of your health, your body has to be operating in its natural state, so you can get accurate readings of what's actually going on. And it took me kind of a year to really be like, okay, I need to take that chance, and I need to just take my health into my own hands. I'm not telling everyone to come off contraception before people go crazy at me. I'm just telling facts that you can't tell what your hormones are doing when you are on a hormonal contraception. So that is my tips on hormones. I will be doing a whole nother video on contraception, that's a whole nother thing. But we are keeping these at 5 minutes, so it is easy to do and not overwhelming, because health situations are overwhelming enough as it is. But I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your love and support. And I'm always here for all of you. Ask me any questions in the descriptions and the comment section below.